So how does this core problem show itself? In archery specifically, we see archers that lock off of target. Whether you're shooting a traditional bow or a compound, you get yourself to full draw and you know exactly what your sight picture should be. You know what pin should be on the target or what gap you should be shooting, but you just can't quite get there. Your mind knows that aiming equals impact. Aiming equals an explosion. So it doesn't allow you to actually put your pin on the target. It locks off the target and then it readies itself. And once it is ready, it sends the release motor program, be that to your finger or to the fingers of your release, or if you're shooting with your thumb, however it is, however your release happens, it links the core problem. It links recoil bracing to the release motor program. So you're locked off target, the pin's almost there, or the sight picture's almost there, and it locks, and then you jump to target. You're only aiming for a millisecond. That's one way that it shows itself. Another way it shows itself is not even getting to anchor. Very prevalent in the traditional archery world, where that archer will snap shoot, or they'll draw their bow back and they lock in front of their face, they lock, and they just can't quite get that bow all the way back. It's like the bow becomes 1,000 pounds, nearly impossible to pull any farther. And then all of a sudden, when the body and mind is ready, it sends the motor program. That motor program usually, it jerks back to the face and lets go, all in one very fast motion. That's another way that this core problem shows itself. In release shooting, in compound sights and release shooting, you see it as punching the trigger. You'll see the archer has their finger hovering over the trigger like a cobra ready to strike. And then when they get their pin on the target, they actually black out. A lot of times that archer will close their eyes and punch the trigger at the same time. You see it in that archer that has no bow movement, and you think, oh, that archer's so steady. But if there's no bow movement, that means that they braced for recoil. That finger's hovering over that trigger, and all of a sudden, the motor program gets sent, and the trigger gets punched. If you were to shoot a firearm that way, you would never hit anything. So we'll talk about the mechanisms and how to get around these things. But that's how the core problem of shooting shows itself in archery. And every single archer deals with this. We call it target panic, shot anticipation. It has other names, but target panic is the most prevalent. It's not necessarily a panic. It is your mind becoming more and more efficient at bracing for recoil.